Alrighty guys, so I wanted to do a kind of relatively longer video on everything that I got going on right now, and I'm also going to cover some of my ideas on where to take my passion for this hobby and everything that's going on right now. So on the screen right now, I got my major projects that you guys, if you have been on the Facebook a lot, been up to date with on everything that's going on, and where I'm just going to go over everything that you see in front of you. And yeah, so up here we got my first build. This was a very scrap build. I just had some extra foam board left over from a school project, and I just kind of slapped this thing together, and it hasn't flown yet. Obviously there's a kind of like cut right here that shouldn't be there and stuff. I don't really know what I was doing with that. And then after that, I kind of started to. This was at this point I still had graph paper. I was designing all my plans on graph paper. Then I moved on to this one right here, which is one of my secret projects that I mentioned earlier. It is a profile 3D. Over here we have another graph paper, pretty large racing plane. I'm buying carbon fiber supports for this and everything. That's another one of my secrets. That is not going to have plans released because there are no plans for it. So yeah, that's one of my not a very good build of mine. Right here we got a cardboard bipe, which is another one of my secret builds. That I'm going to make the wings out of foam board. Up here we got my very first actual design. I'm going to call it design build. Everything. This was my very first one that I sat down on my computer. I'm like, alright, I'm going to download some CAD software. We're going to get this going. So I downloaded LibreCAD, which is what I've been using right over here. And I designed this entire plane scale from the original plans and everything. And this so far I've been the most happy with on how it came out. The airfoil is just amazing. Everything is almost absolutely perfect on it. After that we went to, what did we do after that? I built my Corsair, which I modified some of the parts to make it more streamlined and more of a racer. As you can see, a little bit of blue right here. That is a pin-up that has been glued on. I need to color the rest of it blue. Then from there I moved over to this right here. This is my double Mustang, otherwise known as the F82. Then from there I started doing the poles and everything, and you guys seem to really like that. I really like letting people choose like what they want to see me build, because there are plenty of things I want to build, but I also want to like deliver to the people, you know. So I got my B-17 up here. A huge project, huge build. As you can see, it just dwarfs all my other aircraft. That I'm working on painting and stuff. It's just that's just such a huge build. Really fun though. If you want to scale B-17, that's got all the bells and whistles. This is definitely something you want. I apologize for that quick interruption. So where was I? I was talking about the B-17. This is a huge undertaking if you want to build it. Kind of like how with my my short Sterling, all of the coverings for the cowls and stuff, you have to design those yourself. That's one thing that I kind of have to balance out with the poles. I let you guys pick what designs and what builds you want me to do, but I also leave a little bit for you guys to do and figure out yourselves too. So especially with the B-17, this is just a huge build. It's so much work. The covering is insanely difficult. It's a huge build. It's a lot of fun though, and as you can see, I think that looks really good in my opinion. It is built from scale plans, so it is scale. The rudder on the back here is a double layer of foam board, so you kind of got two lined up next to each other. From there, we had, where did I go? Oh yeah, from there I went to the Piper Cub, which I sat down yesterday and in 3 hours had the entire thing designed and built. Or not built, just designed in AutoCAD. That was a little bit of a tricky build to design to make, because I didn't actually have any plans because it is a custom aircraft. It's not, there aren't any like 3 views of it, there aren't any balsa wood plans or anything like that. There's literally nothing for this aircraft because it's all custom built. So I took another Cub that was extremely similar to this, and I used some of those plans, some of the shapes from those, and I kind of built off of those plans. So I kind of had like a scale idea on where I want the wings to be and everything, and that ended up working great. I mean, now it is relatively scale. The tail should be about 1.5 inches longer for it to be perfectly scale, but the skewers just weren't long enough. Sorry, no, half an inch longer. The skewers just weren't long enough, and I built mine, and I honestly think it looks amazing. It is one of my favorite aircraft that I've built so far. The tail section, which I'll show you in a little bit, it just looks so amazing, so cool. Because it's not actually a covered tail section. It's all kind of like a tubular chassis, I would say. And this plane I just love so much. So that was a pretty quick build. Had a little bit of a warping problem with the foam board, covering with acrylic and then wetting the acrylic to get an even coat, but that was a pretty fun build. So the first thing I want to cover from the list of things I have here is making myself a website. I haven't really gone about doing that before, and I don't obviously know how to do that. So I was wondering if you guys had any tips or suggestions on how to get my own website started, on just putting up plans and stuff where I can put free build plans and everything like that. Just kind of like a localized area where all my stuff will be. So if you guys are interested in specific plans, I'll have all my polls there and everything, and I'll have multiple builds going on. Another thing I wanted to say is my friend is coming on board with me, so we are going to have a couple different people designing and building and testing these aircraft while everything is going on. Now, I guess this is kind of like a startup company, so any support would be great from you guys. I do have a little bit of money, but definitely not enough to where I can buy a laser cutter, which I am in the market for. I was looking at the forum, and I was looking at a couple of the posts about making like your own laser cutters, and my friend can definitely program that and everything. I just need, I guess if you guys have any suggestions on laser cutters, where to buy them, what to buy, what companies are good and stuff, please comment them or message me on Facebook or anything like that, because I'm super interested in getting a laser cutter and having that going 100% of the time. I will, if I do get a laser cutter, I will have printed plans and everything, and pre-cut plans that I will be selling, so you can get your B-17 all perfectly 100% cut and everything, so you know you're not just printing off of tiled plans and then strapping them together. Also, if you guys with the tiled plans, which is what I put out, because that's the only way I can build them, is based off of tiles. If you guys want the plans in any other file format, please be my guest and just ask, because I have all the editing software needed to pretty much put them out in any format or any kind of file you want, and I can just send them right to you. It's really not a big of a deal. So if you guys want them in any other special file, or like if you want to print them like full size or something, just go ahead and ask, and I'll be able to get them done. Yeah, so if you want like a printed Piper Cub, which actually, if you do build the Piper, not the Piper Cub, the little Cub here, if you do build this, there actually is quite a bit of foam board left over from that, so you can make modified parts and everything like that. F-84, I don't think I'd do a build for this, or a plan set for this if I were to get a laser cutter, just because it's not, there isn't really a set thing to do. You basically just take 2 flight test P-51s and just kind of modify some parts and make them work, and it's really not that hard. It's actually pretty fun trying to figure out for yourself. So another thing I wanted to go over after the website, which I need tips on how to get that started. If anybody is a programmer, knows how to start up a website. I'd love to get some of your help. Um, that's just pretty much all I have to say about the website. Paid plans. So I do have a couple secret projects that I'm not even gonna show you guys. I'm gonna preview. If when I do complete them, they are extremely complex. I will tell you one. I have a Harrier, an F whatever Harrier that I've been working on for quite a while, and it has there's a couple different systems. There's a system where it has rotating, 4 rotating EDFs that, like 30mm EDFs that rotate down into VTOL mode. I have another version of it where I have a 70mm EDF in the front of the intake, and it blows air down, and then there are servos that actually angle panels downward to direct airflow down, and then angle back up to allow airflow at the back when you're exiting VTOL mode. If any of you are interested in those plans have taken me hours and hours and hours to do. They're extremely complex. They got so much to do on them. It puts the B-17 just at like a lower level than everything. They're just so. I'm extremely happy with them. I haven't tested building them yet. As far as I know, everything works. But if you guys are interested in those, I am going to have a select few plans that are going to be paid for. And by paid for, I mean like you're going to be paying like $1 to $2. That's it. It's not going to be anything like $50 for this plan or anything. And it's just going to be like a really low price. I'm just trying to make a little bit of cash to kind of get things started up and everything. So also another thing, any money that I get from YouTube or from donations from anywhere is all going 100% to the hobby. It's not going anywhere else. I'm not like saving up for a car or anything. Everything that I get is going to the hobby. So I just want I don't want you guys to think I'm like trying just to take your money or anything. No, I'm just trying to make like a better place for a community where people can like get build plans and everything based on what they want to see. So one thing I really quickly want to go over, I just put a post up on this in the Facebook, is different types of glues. In the back here you kind of see my hot glue gun. This right here I just built last night with my hot glue gun, and it's pretty light. However, I built this thing right here with the only hot glue I used on it was in the wing spars and attaching the wing, putting the wing together. And then everything else was done entirely with this white glue. Elmer's glue will work fine, and you kind of just tape it down and wait for it to dry. This thing right here, even though it's a double P51 Mustang, weighs a lot less than this right here. Like a lot less. Like this almost feels like, because this is just wet dry glue, so as soon as the glue dries, all the water weight is gone, and then it just weighs almost nothing. There's almost zero weight added by the glue. And I think that the level of detail on both of these, I mean all these exhaust pipes right here, those are all 3-dimensional exhaust pipes. So I just wanted to say something about that, because if you do have a problem with your plane weighing too much, like with my B-17, I suggest you kind of devise a plan to use your Elmer's glue or something like this. It does save a lot of money with the hot glue and stuff. You don't have to buy that all the time, but it does take a little bit more time to glue it all together. It is a pretty fun process though. It's definitely something different, and it comes out great. The results are exactly the same. You don't get all that weird string stuff with your hot glue. In some cases the results are better than the hot glue, so I highly recommend doing this if you don't want to keep buying the hot glue and stuff. And that's all I want to say about that one. Alrighty guys, moving right along, sorry about that. So we got my B-17 here sized up with my short Sterling. Let's see. What did I want to go over? So laser printing, I kind of already mentioned. I don't want to spend a ton on a laser printer. I would much rather have somebody build me one than buy an industrial one. But if I have to buy an industrial one, you guys know that they cost like in the thousands of dollars, and I definitely don't have in the thousands of dollars. So I would definitely prefer that somebody maybe like give me an idea on how to build them and stuff like that, because I can definitely afford, like I was looking at a forum post on Flight Test about an $150 one. However, their final solution was to use a needle printer, which is I believe it works like you push the needle through the foam board a bunch of times until you get a continuous line. And I definitely need a laser printer because the needle method is definitely efficient, but I'm looking at this more from a I really don't want a needle printer. I definitely need a laser printer. Oh, that's from Real Racing 3. Here is my very first build as I was working on it. There's it finished. I was super hyped, and then this was my drawing for the 3D flyer that I made, which I think came out pretty good. This is how it all started, guys, right here. From designing the plans to actually building them. All started from graph paper, and then you can see I moved it over to the foam board. I cut it all out, put all my edges in, made everything look all nice. I cut this off because I just was using a different method to attach this to here before. So then this is just kind of the build process, I guess. Oh, this is a funny picture. As you can see around here, this is most of what's gonna benefit this entire I guess company that I'm kind of starting up here. And this is also my F82. I was just having some fun. I wanted to do a little photo shoot, so here's that. Oh, there's my dog Halo. So laser printer, I definitely need one of those for so people can buy printed plans, obviously. YouTube support, I do have a Google Merchant account. I have made a very small amount of money through YouTube support, and that's where I would want to be supported through if you guys do choose to support me. So I haven't really found any other way yet to get supported. I assume you can do it through Facebook somehow, but I will have a further notice on that. Okay, so my camera, that's something else we need to cover. Where's my phone? I am using a Motorola phone. I'm not sure which one. I think it's an X something, and it has a pretty mediocre camera on it. That's what I use to film all my videos and stuff. And right now I'm using to film on screen. I'm using Outer Source, OBS Studio, something like that, to film. And I really like this software. But for my phone, I do have a dual 518 gigabyte SD cards in there, which I'm very happy with. However, my phone does not allow me to record to the SD card, so I can only record videos in 3 to 5 minute spans. So I also am gonna need to purchase a new camera that can actually record video. I do have a pretty cheap Polaris that I'm thinking about using. I just remembered I have that, and now I'm kind of excited because that is probably going to record better video quality than what I have currently. One thing for the drone reviews that I do not have a helmet cam yet. I'm working on getting one of those, so I will have flight videos out. I have been improving greatly in my drone flying abilities. I have I have an Estes Proto X, a Braha Industries iQuad, and a Sky Viper 200 Nano. So I really like the nano scale and stuff like that. There is a picture of my 3D all painted up. alongside over here. There's a box full of all these materials to build these planes. And then we're back to everything again. So I'm just going to keep it on the picture of Halo and cover the camera. Alright, so my next poll, what I'm going to do is, I noticed in the last poll I accidentally changed the settings so that you guys could add aircraft. And I wasn't really too comfortable with that at first. I was like, oh crap, the people are going to start adding random stuff. But I found that you guys actually, because I'm not really always looking into STOL and VTOL aircraft that often, I'm more into the World War II and the military and stuff like that, that you guys had a much better insight than me, obviously, with having the like knowing aircraft and stuff that you guys would want to see. So that's gonna be how my next poll works. I'm just gonna set up a poll. I'm gonna put like 2 or 3 aircraft in there, and then I'm gonna let you guys just add your own aircraft. You guys can do whatever you want. Let's try to keep out of the B-17 like 4-engine big huge bomber range, because as I've mentioned before, I do not have the space for that, and I will not be doing any builds like that for a little bit of a time, because I'm running low on foam board. However, I did purchase foam board stocks, so not like stocks, but I got that 100 pieces for like $50, so I'm getting bigger shipments of them in. So that's all going in. And the big aircraft, though, I just don't have the materials to complete them. I'm really into these one-sheet builds because they're small and simple, and I feel like the bigger you go, the more expensive everything is. Because I buy Elmers, which is frowned upon by several people. So I really do like the texture of Elmers. I've had a lot of problems with other types of foam boards in the past. And never buy any off-white foam board. I don't know where I got this piece, but it was just so weird. It was like the foam on the inside was so flimsy that if you touched it with your hand, it would leave a dent in the actual foam board. And that's why I always buy Elmers. The shipment of 100 I have coming in is not Elmers, though, so that's going to be interesting how that works out. Elmers is $3 a board, though, and I recently went to AC Moore, and I was super happy to find 30 by 40 sheets, tons of different colors. I showed you guys the rainbow reflective one that they had. I think it'd be really cool to do a plane made out of that stuff. It'd be a little tricky, I guess, to see it because it's literally just going to reflect all these rainbow different colors. Might get a little disoriented while flying, but I think that'd be pretty cool. AC Moore has all the different colors and everything. They got a baby blue that I really would have loved to do my Corsair out of, so then I wouldn't have to paint it. But yeah, they got a bunch of different colors. They also have inch widths. So if you want 20 by 30 inch foam board, but you want it to be an inch thick, they have inch thick foam board, which is amazing. Because if you want to do like a 400% or something, not a 400, but if you want to do a really large percentage, then if you pretty much you want to do anything over 5 or 6 feet wingspan, that 1 inch is really going to help you out because it's just a lot more structural integrity than the 3/16 of an inch. So that's with what I got going on with shipments and stuff coming in. And oh, one other thing. My background here, I just have set to stock Windows 10 backgrounds. So I was wondering if you guys wanted me to put some of your builds back here, anything that's posted on the Flight Test Facebook page, I'm going to start putting in the back here. Just because I really want a change of scenery. I mean, this bee and flower is pretty nice, but I really want to get some Flight Test stuff up there. And also, just another thing, just so you guys don't think I'm like, I do have 2 other screens. I got one up this way and one over here. So I do have a just like I have all my editing software and everything is all up on my other screens and everything, because I just like to keep this clean with only the stuff I'm going to use for my video. So yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to go over everything that's going on right now. Well, one of the other thing, electronics. I don't have any money whatsoever to buy. Well, I do have money to buy electronics and stuff, but I'm holding off on doing that because I have my Piper Cub, not my Piper Cub. I have my Sport Cub S from Horizon that I have yet to complete. Kind of like, I guess when I say by complete, I haven't like broken it too bad yet, you know. I've had some pretty bad crashes. I actually had a crash where I snapped the nose off, but I mean it glued together back fine and it's still flying. It does not have a brushless motor. It does have a brushed coreless motor. And I just wanted to get you guys' opinion on those. I haven't tried brushless before, just because I lack the funds to buy a whole spectrum of all my parts and everything. I just wanted to get you guys like opinion on brush motors for the smaller builds, like the 1-sheets and stuff, and their power compared to the brushless motors. I know the brushless motors are a lot more powerful than the brush motors, obviously, but with the Sport Cub that I have, the brush motor it'll fly at 25% throttle. It'll stay completely level at 25% throttle. However, the plane is extremely light, so that obviously factors into its power. So I was wondering what your guys' opinion is on motors and stuff like that. Also, with the gas motors on the B-17, that's going to be a lot of fun. I might do a separate video on gas motors for B-17s and gas motors versus on foam board and stuff like that later. Yeah, so I also have Minwax shipping to me, so I'm gonna be making my planes look very shiny and nice. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say, I guess, about the planes and stuff. The backgrounds and everything, you guys can either just comment on the post that I will link this video to on the Facebook page. But yeah, I'm gonna be looking for a way to set up a website. So if anybody has any ideas, tips, or wants to help me with that, or if anybody wants to jump on board, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm definitely looking for more people. So any support is greatly appreciated across any platform. And I just wanted to thank you guys again for keeping up to date with everything that's going on the pages and everything, the forums and the Facebook, because this is just the flight test community is such a great community. There's so many people willing to help you if you have the slightest problem with anything. Actually, speaking of that, if anybody's building my B-17, oh, he crashed, that's a shame. If anybody's building my B-17, then and they have any questions, please tell me, please ask, because the plans are slightly misleading, and it's a hard build. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever, just don't hesitate to ask. This is such a great community. You guys have been so helpful with getting me to where I want to be with my plans and everything. So I gotta thank you for that. And it's pretty much up to you guys where you want this to go on where I go with this YouTube channel and where I go with my next builds and everything. So yeah, that's all. I guess that's really is the last thing I'm gonna say. So enjoy my Cub, which I'm gonna have plans out very soon for. Yeah, and that's about it. I really like this Corsair here. Rick, you did a great job with your airbrushing there, very impressive, and I just love the color. So yeah, that's about it. I just want to thank you guys again for creating such a great community on Flight Test, and yeah.